that was like the most insane thing I've ever done in my entire life. But this season, it gets a bit more serious, you know.
I always say, have some spine, but maintain flow.
You've already spent the past 3-4 years doing the build-up. Now you can just enjoy the ride.
Atticus, we see it's at the beginning of season 5. I know we're going to see a conversation with Simon Z, and at the end of season 5, we're going to see a lot of conversation with Pilot and Atticus. So, can you kind of tease maybe a little bit what's Atticus kind of doing this season? What's his role? What's his mission? What's he trying to do?
Up until this point, Atticus has been delegating. He's been moving puzzle pieces around to try to resolve problems, deal with challenges, but he's had an observatory capacity, an advisory capacity, right, in terms of sort of facilitating. He's been a facilitator. The difference is now we're going to see Atticus taking charge. Boots on the ground, in the field, making decisions and taking action.
Excited to see that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very high. So, but how much of that comes from you? How much of the character and Elijah are kind of intertwined? How much do you really relate? How much do you draw from yourself for your character?
Oh, well, I mean, we're always bringing ourselves to each role we play. In terms of the moment-to-moment, scene-to-scene action of the series, that's scripted, obviously. But I bring my own experience and confidence and sense of humor and determination and purpose to the role, and it's been a true joy and an honor to be able to play the spectrum, over the course of 4 seasons. Atticus starts from a place of supreme confidence, sarcasm, not really too ruffled by anything, not really too concerned about this, and then his concern grows once he sees the influence that this peaceful preacher has on the community. So yeah, it's scripted, but I mean, on the page, that's why actors get involved in this process, because we bring our own backstories, our own experience, our own histories to everything we do. And in terms of Atticus's spiritual journey, it happens to be very aligned with Elijah's. So, yeah, I've always been a student of religion and been on my own personal spiritual journey. And I feel like Atticus is very much on his. He's at a point in his career and his life where the job isn't enough. He needs something more. When we see him in season 2 arrive, he's coming out of retirement. So he's retired for a reason. He's given up the job. And so we see an Atticus who is hungry for something more. He's looking for a different kind of fulfillment. And that's where Elijah has been as well. So, really looking to what's behind and underneath the obvious. Yeah. And as an investigator, that's all Atticus has been doing, because he's got to look beneath and see beyond, and to what's really happening. So it's very exciting, and I'm really excited for people to see season 5, because we're seeing a completely different texture, different color, a different side of Atticus. Really a man who's taking charge of things and who has a clear agenda. which up until this point, we know he works for the emperor. He works, he works for Rome, but we don't know his personal agenda. And in season 5, we get that, and beyond, we're going to get more of it. So,
no, that's awesome. Your kind of experience as Salome on The Chosen, James and John's mother. You're very tough, but you're also very tender and kind at the same time. How much of that kind of comes from you? How did you come up with the way that you play this character and your kind of sentiment? Where does that all come from?
I'm a mother. Salome's a mother. I've been able to connect with the character a bunch because of that. We have many things in common, and including she has a little bit of humor to the situation. Where we don't connect is when we do these asks to our Lord Jesus Christ that make no sense. Okay? So I had to really think about that one when I was going to ask the boys to say this. It was a disconnect, and why would somebody do that in their right mind? And I figured it out. It's as mothers, we want what's best for our kids. Sometimes moms are not perfect. Moms are not perfect, and kids come with their own deal, and we just kind of guide them and make them flourish as they go and bring them to their potential. Salome thought that right and left were the way to go, and that's not it. They can't do it because they're not ready for that. She doesn't know that, but she will know it. There's a lot of things that she still has to live to understand why that ask was negated.
Well, that's awesome. How does it feel to be here at CHOSENCON? All the people coming up saying hi, all the love, all the family connections and stuff.
You have to understand, I'm from a small town in Venezuela. This is insane. Insane. I never thought I would be in a show like The Chosen. I never thought that The Chosen would be this worldwide phenomenon, and me being in the middle is a blessing. I can only say it was him because I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. It's amazing.
No, it is. And you've been here since the beginning too, since season 1, so you got to watch it grow and stuff.
Yes, it's beautiful.
This is sick, man. This is CHOSENCON. It's like Comic-Con or something, like Marvel.
Something like that.
I know you're
we just had our Marvel lineup for the next.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like
Phase 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
CCU.
Yeah, I know you're like a nerd. How would you say though that The Chosen compares to something like Marvel? Last night that felt very much like a Marvel convention, something like that. But it's something that's competing, in the space, in the creative space for the media, and is competently putting up with all these big studios. How would you say the differences that compares creatively and both with the fan base we've experienced here?
I think we could use more CGI, more cameos. Where's our Stan Lee? Can we just get Dallas and some glasses? Hey, I know that guy.
That was a very good impression, by the way.
Thanks. I actually didn't know I could do that one. I was like, this is either going to be really good or incredibly terrible. I was just like, great, just throw it out there.
What's going on with Judas this season? I know we're getting closer and closer to
which season? Season 4 or season 5?
Season 5.
Season 5.
Yes.
Not a lot of things hidden in this show.
Yeah.
People are very connected, and the book is very popular.
We read the book. Yeah, the book.
Everyone just reads the book regularly.
Yeah.
The reread on that sucker is continually.
That's true.
My mom rereads it every night.
Yeah, that's true. But so this season, how kind of did you have fun with that character, explore that, or what kind of stood out to you maybe about?
No, it was great. Everything that I needed to accomplish was in the script, and when it came to the emotional stakes, all I'd have to do is look at the person acting across from me, and I got all the emotional context and build that I needed. It's some of the easiest stuff that I've ever had to do because there's not much work you have to discover past 4 years of working with everybody and building up to this. So it's kind of just enjoying the drop in the roller coaster because you've already spent the past 3-4 years doing the build up. now you can just enjoy the ride.
You kind of mentioned last night you're a nomad. You're wandering.
I am.
Right.
I'm a nomad.
Philip's kind of a wanderer, right? We've seen him. He's just traveling on his own. You know, he's with John the Baptist.
Where are we right now? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But how does this kind of dwelling in this story, this subject matter, this material? I know you love to think and you're a very philosophical person. How does this like kind of affect your journey, and how does this help you think about these things, or do you just like dwelling in this mindset, this thinking, this subject matter? How is that all
In a sense of what, like the nomadic life?
Or just in general?
Well, I suppose it's like, I mean, if you're talking about the nomadic life, and I was trying to talk about being comfortable with the unknowns, I think I think one of the lessons of being a nomad and changing life so many times, you've got to be careful, because you've got to always stay rooted in some way. I always say, have some spine, but maintain flow. So, like, you have to have a spine of core principles and core values and things that you strongly believe in, whilst at the same time being able to stay open to take the beauties that the wonderful, out of control chaos of life and the changes in life bring to you, whether that's people or cultures or different points of view. I like the word "get used to different" from The Chosen, particularly for that reason. Is you learn that you hold your set of truths, but also are willing to exchange and have and be humble, so that you don't become a rigid rock, because nobody likes a rigid rock other than to throw it at someone and harm them. So there you go.
Yeah, that's cool. What kind of can we expect? Can you tease a little bit of what Philip's going to be doing this season? What he's going to be going through? How he's, what's his journey?
I think Philip, personally, I understand him to have a lot of father journey. I think if you take it from his last words in the scripture, he talks about where's the father, and that's a very big question that's always dwelled on me when it comes to exploring Philip's character. He probably wasn't very comfortable with his father at home. That's why he ran away to the wilderness to live with snakes and terrifying creatures, with a very ostracized human being in the form of John the Baptist. And then having him as a father figure, he found some spiritual value there, but now he's dead. And now his other father figure, who's supposed to be more divine and give him hope, after a quick party, says, "I'm also going to die." So that's not fun. And so he's really, it's a really challenging place to realize, I had a family, I ran away from a family, I found another family, now that he's dead, but then someone said it's going to be okay, and then the third guy is also like, I'm also leaving. Now what are you going to, think about it. I don't have to answer that. That's my tease.
That's awesome, man. I love your performances, Philip. We all love your performances, Philip. Here at CHOSENCON.
Thank you.
I'm sure you can feel all the love.
Thank you, and I love your work. It's really, I watch it a lot. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh wow, you're both amazing.
We'll talk. I'll try to get you on sometime, podcast or something. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you.
Noah, hey, what's up?
We've met officially, but I've seen some of the stuff that you do. Yeah.
Okay, yes, I'm Eli.
Eli, nice to meet you.
Last night we got a bunch of big announcements.
Yeah, crazy.
Like super Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Tons of great stuff. How excited are you to kind of be on this journey and see where it's going and how it's going to evolve and change and stuff?
Yeah, it's honestly pretty remarkable from where we started, where we didn't even know that we were going to finish the first season. I mean, like legitimately left going, I hope we see you again, to now a whole, the studio and all the new projects, the Bear Grylls thing. First of all, that was like the most insane thing I've ever done in my entire life. So the fact that I can't spoil some of the things that we do, but the fact that I'm like doing this crazy adventure and we'll look over and it's Bear Grylls, and I'm like, is this real life? And it's really all because of The Chosen and because of the fans. And that's really the reason why we're here.
So how do you, I know it's probably very hard, but how do you act like you have such a natural camaraderie with all of these disciples and all together? How do you get into that performance? Is it a real challenge challenge for you? Do you have to put yourself in different shoes, or is it just completely natural, and that what we see on screen is really a reflection of how real life is?
Yeah, the camaraderie is not difficult at all because we are all going through it together. Not only things like this, which, you know, it's an event to go through it, and you have to sort of process all of this energy coming at you, but just the elements out there, the heat, the cold, the fact that we're all doing it together. I mean, we really do love each other. If anything, what's shown on screen is a tamed down version of our camaraderie in real life. Dallas is like, you can't do that. You have to tone it back. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, you can feel it here at CHOSENCON. All the love and the support and the energy.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a family reunion whenever we come do this. It's like, oh, we're back together again.
Yeah, everyone knows each other. It's really great. I know you're a musician. Yes. You just played last night at the CHOSENCON. You were on the keyboard. So creatively, what is your relationship as a musician and an actor? How do the two affect each other? Do they feed into one another and kind of develop each other? How does that dynamic work?
I started playing music before I started acting. You know, my mom at a very young age put me into classical piano lessons, and I did that for 10 years. And I fought her on it for a little bit, but now that I look back on it, I'm so grateful that I was able to do it, and that she gave me that inspiration in the first place, because it's the only reason why I'm still playing, you know, and that I'm up there playing. So music will always hold a very special place in my heart. But then I started acting in middle school, and I just knew, I was like, felt a little different. It was like, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, you know. So I knew at a young age. And then I've always wanted to blend them somehow. And so far, you know, a lot of the work I've done has been on stage in musicals that have been playing music while doing stage work and stuff, but I had never gotten to play music on screen before until The Chosen. And The Chosen last season incorporated it very well into the show in terms of us just hanging out, playing Hanukkah music and stuff. And I loved that, and that was very, very exciting to me. And so the Hanukkah bit was a highlight of the whole season for me, just getting to play with my friends and with Noah and stuff. And so yeah, it's kind of full circle, and I'm so glad it got to blend together, and hopefully in the next couple of years there'll be more of that with the cast and the composers. And hopefully we'll just keep finding ways to blend that, because a lot of my castmates play music. A lot of them. Yeah.
What can we kind of expect from Nathaniel this season? What's his journey going to be like? What's his next step in his life?
Yeah, like I said last night in the panel, Nathaniel's always kind of been, you know, the icebreaker, or he kind of has some comedic relief in a lot of ways, or just one-liners, zingers, you know, that really stick out. But this season, it gets a bit more serious, you know, with the disciples. You know, it's been 3 years on the road with these people, and now conflict is really, really starting to arise. So there's a lot of disciples in different places in their lives and their ways, basically, and there's a lot of different opinions, as one would imagine when 12 people are living together for a long period of time. And they're confused by what's going on and who they're following and why everyone hates us and are we choosing the right thing, and that'll be fun to explore. So that's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I love your performance as Nathaniel, man.